Yeah, so I'm facing a bit of a dilemma right now because I have no way to get over to the main island, and I said I was only going to use Elytra off the island very sparingly. I've taken to just constantly wearing the Elytra now, so I need to get back on. I need a bridge. We need a bridge. I need a way to get from here to over there on horseback. Now, I've done some thinking about how we can do that, and I couldn't, in my mind, get a bridge going from there to up here to look right. Because it's so tall, you'd need like a beak, because I'm going to have this bridge made out of stone, you'd need it to be really beefy and just solid. I did not think a really solid, beefy stone bridge going from here to here, spanning all of this distance, would look good in the context of this tiny house I've built. So then I was thinking, how could I make the bridge attached to the island instead? Maybe it goes from the island over to here. But I couldn't think of a good... I couldn't find like a good angle, a good place to put it. I don't want to put it over there because that's just unessential to the build. I can't put it over there either because the same issue. So it has to go in this area. But how did I make that work? Do I have like a bridge, a staircase going up around? And then I thought, if I can't make it attached to the island properly, why don't I just rebuild the island? Now, for this redesign of the island, I had a couple ideas whilst I was looking at the island. And first off, I want a way... Oh my god. I wasn't expecting that. I want a way to get on the island if I'm on the boat down in the water. So I was thinking, since the island naturally curves down this way, I might have like a part I can get onto up here and then come up around so I can get up here and then get up to my house from the seafloor. And then I was also looking at this here. I was thinking, what if I extend this thin part out a bit and maybe we have an arch here and extend these little spiky bits out a little bit. So like that. There's a big pillar going up there and there's an arch underneath them. I personally think that would look quite cool. But first things first, we got to get rid of all the trees, the foliage, and shaping down the island a little bit. So following the last clip, I did a bunch of testing in my testing world and built up how I want the island to look. Oh, it looked pretty damn good. I really liked it. And so I took a schematic of it, as you do, and I went to look at what blocks I need. I need a pretty substantial amount of blocks, and so obviously I'm using stone. I'm using grey type blocks for this build, so that's all in here. I kind of forgot that we've already just started this world a few months ago and not done any massive mega projects yet, so we do not have a lot of grey blocks. So I'm gonna have to harvest every single block I need. It's gonna take a very long time. Oh no. So now I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think because of the amount of stone I need and all that stuff, I already have to break away bits of this island. I might just mine it all away and rebuild a shell, because I'm gonna need a lot of stone, and it's just convenient. It's all in one spot. I might just get a beacon and just erase the island. Yep, so we're doing this now. Die. Oh, I may not have thought this through. Death. I'm gonna die. No. He's almost dead. I have no clue what Justin's done with our furnaces. I came over here because I thought there was glass left in them, but there's just no furnaces. This man's, I swear to God, he removed the furnaces from over there to put them in his sugarcane farm he's built here, instead of just making new ones. I abhor the fact that I think that floating looks kind of good, because I have no plans to make it floating. But I think that looks actually really cool though. No. Oh, I hate that. It looks so cool. I'm going to do something with that in the future. Have some sort of floating thing above an island. I can put it over there. Man, I just love my island house. That's not on an island. It has been done. It's taken like 3 days or something like that. I've gone through numerous pickaxes and have broken almost 100,000 stone. My god. How many times have I used my pickaxe? 112,000 times. So now that the island is gone, and I have filled every single chest I have with stone and other stone type blocks, it's time we start gathering the materials we need, or crafting, or whatever, to get this island done. Because it's not a great look right now. So the main reason I have broken this island, if I didn't mention earlier, is because I'm rebuilding it. But I'm not just rebuilding it out of the same stone blocks. I've completely retextured it in my testing world, which means I would have had to break this anyway, or at least shave off the outer shell. So I thought, since I'm going to need copious amounts of stone and other materials, I may as well just get rid of the island. But in my testing of remaking this island, I decided I was going to go heavy on the shading. So we're going to need a lot more than just stone-esque blocks. I'm sorry, but who's just going to have a fermented spider eye just laying around? I think I could probably count on my hands the amount of time I've made those things in the past decade and a half of this game existing. So I'm coming over here because we are in need of copious amounts of clay, and I believe a lot of it spawns down in these lush caves down here. Oh, thank God. I was worried it would only be like little splodges around these water pools, but thankfully it looks like it's actually like a lot of it. So we should be good, because we need we need 10 shulkers of this stuff. I've already just gone and gathered up 5 shulkers of andesite, and that took eons. Let me tell you, eons. But this should be a lot easier because there's a lot more just dotted around. I shall need to go make a new shovel. Side note, I hate that you can't fly up ladders anymore. Not the most fun thing now that you just touch a ladder and immediately your wings cut off. Okay, now, let's mine up all of this. My god, this is going to take forever. I need to fill my inventory 10 times. Oh no. It's been a couple of days since the last clip, and I have been busy. I have gathered up pretty much all the blocks we are going to be needing for this island, except for the dirt, but I already have that off my base up there. But, my god. I needed this much clay. Who needs this much clay? It's clay. When have you ever used this much clay in a build? Got andesite as well. Tough blocks. Cracked stone bricks. This is terrain, by the way. I need 2 shulkers of cracked stone bricks for terrain. Terracotta, stone bricks, more stone bricks, more andesite, more stone, light grey wool, light grey concrete powder, and cobblestone. My good god, bruh. My good god. But we can finally... Oh, my inventory's going to be a mess building this. We can finally get started on our islands. Voila! It's glorious. It's glorious. Look at it. The arch, the peak, the lack of foliage. It's glorious. So, this has taken me many an hour. I wasn't exactly timing how long it took, but it's been many an hour. I've watched many a long video while putting this together, but it's finally done. Now, admittedly, we have still a lot of work left to do on it, including adding some sort of foliage so it's not so bare. But this area down here that we could potentially use for future projects, I have no clue yet. Just got an empty cave leading to it. And then this cave right here. I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier because it's been a long time since I recorded that clip, but I was thinking of having our bridge attached to here, and then it comes through the island, and then there's this back area out here which we can have some sort of path going from. Maybe we can have some sort of path coming through here, maybe a bridge and some sort of spiral thing going up that thing right there, which I think would look pretty cool when you're out here. See like a bridge going across there. No idea yet. Still got to work on that. But mainly what I want to work on right this second is getting a bunch of foliage on this island, because right now it is very bare, very lifeless, and very much does not look like it would fit this kind of tree on it. Even though this tree isn't really something you'd see on like an island. It would be more bare like it is now, but I put the tree there. I'm not getting rid of the tree because I really like it, so we're going to have to go with that. Oh, that's beautiful. It finally gives a place for the house to sit. I wonder how it looks from down here. Oh yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. I had no idea how good tough would look as a tree. That's got such a barky texture. Oh, I'm actually... I'm very happy. I've seen the light. I am extremely happy I've seen the light. Okay, I'm gonna interrupt this time lapse to show you a really cool technique I saw. I don't know where I saw it. Oh, that's a bit close. I don't know where I saw it, but I think it's really, really cool. And it's a way to make trees look a little bit more streamlined up the top. I have built it over here. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to show you how to build it first. That requires a pot, a sapling. In this case, I'm using spruce. I completely forgot the name for it. In this case, I'm using spruce, and then I don't know what they used in the thing I saw. I think they used a glass pane in the one I saw, but I much preferred the copper iron bars that are slightly oxidized. So what you do, you just place the pot, put that on top, and bam. And look, I built it over here so you can see. Look how much that complements the silhouette. Now I'm going to strip that once more. I think I liked the slightly aged version much better, because it's like sort of the same color as that. But look how much more streamlined that is compared to that. Over here it's just like, it's more of a rounded top looking, but with this, straight. I love this. I love this. I'm going to be using this a lot in the future for my needle trees, my pine trees and all that sort of thing. But look at that. Look at that. It adds so much. Compare this tree to that tree, or even those two trees. Oh, I'm in love with this technique. I'm getting really into ultra detailed, just mini detail out of the box type of things, which you're going to see a lot of more from me in the future builds. I have no idea who to credit for this because it's literally just an image I saw somewhere. I couldn't find the original person. If I can find the image again, I'll put it up on screen now. But I'm happy with this. I'm gonna get on to building more of the trees, and I've got a few more smaller trees to put in that aren't the same species as this, I would say, and then we can get on to more of the finer details. Now I'm hoping I have some of these blocks lying around because I want to try something a bit different with these smaller trees I have planned. Okay, my plan for these smaller trees, because I haven't actually built these out yet. But I had this idea in my head, right? So where's it? I'm just gonna plot one here for science. I'm just gonna plot one here. So we start off the trunk, bam, bam, bam. I don't know if we're going to keep using that variation of these. Maybe I use the tile. What would tiles look like? No, I think I'm going to try out the deep slate, the cobbled deep slate wall instead. You see how I like how this looks? Let me see. Yeah, I think I prefer that. Okay, we're getting rid of this, get rid of this. Get rid of this. Right, so my plan, right? Bam, bam, bam. Okay, so that's going to be the base part color of the tree. And then, because these are smaller trees, I'm not going to be able to puff out the leaves as much to give it more greeny depth. I thought, why don't we use these as like a transition so that it looks like the leaves are a bit more full. I cannot get up here. So it looks like the leaves are more full, whilst also, if I just sprinkle some around and make like a basic tree here really quick. That, you know what? That's gonna do. So it adds a little bit more green, so you're not got this harsh dark block. Let me show you what I mean. So you haven't got this harsh dark. I can't place it. This harsh dark block that you can like clearly see in there. It like covers it up a bit, and it also makes it look a bit more like there's moss or something just growing on the tree, which I think this is gonna look really cool. So let me let me actually try and build some trees and see how I like this. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If your terrain looks plain, add some grass. We're gonna grass up all of this and then we can get to work on some cooler details. I just wanna get the grass in just so I know what I'm working with first. And then we can get all the cooler details in. Now that I've grassed up our area, we can see just how much that did to improve the look of this place. I also added some, what are they called? Firefly bushes, just to add some little ambiance at nighttime. We can see how much of a difference that's made. Now, I was walking through here as I was doing this, and I was thinking, I need something else to like liven up this place, add some more life, other than these occasional bushes and all this grass. Let me fly back here. Back when Justin was building his cave, I had the suggestion, since it was a cave, of adding big mushrooms, and because it's in a dark oak forest, it would kind of make sense. But I had no idea how to build big mushrooms. I just had big mushrooms in my head, so like build big mushrooms. And so we came up with this idea. Now you can't really see it too well in there. This is what we did for the mushrooms. We got these to add some. Oh my god, I did not know those were instant breaks. We got these for light, and then this for the actual. Is it a cone? I don't know the anatomy of mushrooms. The actual like, mushroom part of the mushroom. But I had an idea. I was just brainstorming, and I had the most brilliant idea for how to build a mushroom. Now I haven't tested this yet because it just came to me while I was building. Okay, let me cook. Bam. Bam. Look how good that looks for a mushroom. Look at that. It's a brown one, it's not a red one, but look how good that would look in there. I had no idea beehives could spawn on mangrove trees. That is new information to me. Now, some of you may have guessed what I'm doing here. How do you mine these things? My god. I am going to use the red trapdoors that these produce as the red cap mushrooms. I don't know how it's going to look, but it's the smallest reddish block I can think of without just being another slab. I feel like if it's just a red coloured slab, it would just look like the same mushroom but different coloured. But if it's a different type of block completely, I think that would look really cool. Bam. I think it's got just enough difference that it'll look really good. I feel like if it's at the same height, though it is a bit short, a bit flat. It doesn't have that plumpness that this one does. But if I put these, like, maybe up here... Oh no. It's really flat. I don't know, I'll think about it. Because I do want the diversity. I'll probably warm up to them pretty fast, so realistically. Let me place a bunch of them around the place and see how I like it. So I've gone and added all our mushrooms to this little cave, and I think it's looking really good. And I'm really happy with how these mushrooms look. So much so that I may have accidentally gone a bit overboard and put them absolutely everywhere. Guess this is gonna be a mushroom island now. I'm just going to explain it away, saying like fungi drifted from over there to over here. Please believe me, please. I know it doesn't really make sense, but believe me. So moving on to our next kind of detail we're going to be adding. I was looking at the grass like, there's a lot of lively, great, like green, luscious grass all around me. Where's all the dead stuff? So I went and gathered up some tall and short dry grass, and I'm going to play around and see what I can do. See how I could add like a little bit more texture to this and giving it a little bit more life and diversity. So this is what I've come up with. Sort of dead patches of ground where all the grass has died on top, and I've used rooted dirt because I've got this one next to a tree, and it obviously... Well, I think anyway, there'd be roots in the ground. I think I'm gonna plop a bunch of these patches just around the place to give this area a bit more life, a bit more wear and tear, if you will, and see how I like it. Because right now, I'm really liking it. I think that looks really good. I am very happy with these little dead patches I've added, and with everything else, it's really making it look quite busy compared to just before when it was just grass. Yep, I'm liking that. So now we've got to work on this little cave here, which, as you might have imagined, is where our bridge is going to be connecting to. So I'm going to get working on a little path going through here, and I think I'm going to connect it up over to here. That's why I've left this little area. I've put much grass here because I'm thinking our path goes through here and just straight along here to boom, a rope bridge, and then I'm thinking around this pillar before going up along here and connecting up there somewhere. So before we get to our little bridge over here that gets us up to here, I was thinking it'd be weird if the only person who's occupied this island is me who lives up there. So I thought I'm having a very interesting time in my life right now. I want to build a ruin. Some sort of ruined castle that sits right here. That looks... Okay, that's kind of a beautiful view right there. My god. And I'm going to ruin it by putting a ruined fortress type outpost thing here, which I think would look really cool. And I'm talking like ruin. This thing's been sitting here untouched for many a century. And I've already got some blocks ready to build it with. Not sure how many of them I'm going to use. Man, I love these firefly bushes. I also love how they only activate at night, which adds such a cool atmosphere. They don't just activate at night. I found they activate in shade. So it's the light level the bush is at that determines whether or not they activate the particles, which is really cool for some of the builds I was experimenting with. You can have them in shade and they'll have like particles around like dark areas, and it was really cool. I'm going to use that a lot in the future, I think. So I'm going to get working on this build here and sleep before any creepers rain down on me and I have to rebuild this whole thing. So what I've laid out here is kind of what I think I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to put an arch right here, and maybe, where have I got these laid out? Maybe some pillars on either side here, and an arch that just frames this tree really well. And I might, yeah, I'm gonna have an arch there. Maybe this could be like an altar room, going around in a circle like this type deal. And then I could have some rooms back here, and maybe another one right here. And then the path we walk is gonna be like, sort of, you have to go through the ruins a bit to get out here. It's not just going to be a clear and open path. I want it to be kind of like congested, like they've made their way through the ruins and they're not just got an open path through. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like that a lot. I'm going to get working on this. What was that? Where did he spawn? Did he burn to death? He must have shot me while I sat. Okay. I don't know how that's happened. Yeah, it's very much not safe with this. There's a creeper standing here. When I went to go in here to get some shulker boxes that I've got lying down there earlier, and there's just a creeper standing here. It's very not safe right now. Yeah, so I'm going to get working on this. I'm going to see what I can come up with. Hopefully, it's going to look cool. I reckon it's going to look cool. I reckon it's going to look mighty cool. Man, I'm loving how this looks. I might have to work on this. I don't really like this, how it's very obvious that I didn't work on that and it was not part of the build I looked at. It's very obvious that I've just built a rectangle there. I might work on that in the future. Ooh, you know what I could do? The entrance is going to be, the bridge is going to go from up here to there. I could have like, maybe I could have some sort of elevator type situation that drops down there. Like I'm thinking the chain thing from Kung Fu Panda that Tai Lung like goes under to protect himself from the arrows. I'm thinking that sort of thing. Maybe I can have that fall from underneath there, and that could be our entrance. We'll see. We'll see. I have finished, and I'm really pleased with this. My god. I've added what I was talking about before with the firefly bushes. They add so much. And then what I was talking about when I said I was going to have you walk through the ruins. You have to go side, and then through. And then what I was talking about before, you have to go through the ruins. I think it looks really cool. They've made like a path through the ruins instead of just bashing it out the way. So I am very happy with this. I've even added some glow lichen just around the place. I think I have gotten all of the spawnable blocks, so nothing should spawn in here, and it's still a relatively low light. Yeah, I was immediately mistaken. Maybe here's a one shot. I think he's taken damage from somewhere else. He must have fallen from somewhere. But nothing should spawn in here. But I am very pleased with this, and this is what I was talking about before. This is kind of like an altar room or something or other. I've even added some flowers here where the altar would be to like kind of draw your eye to where it would be. And I'm very happy with this. Very happy with this. Got the rooms I was talking about on either side. And I've just added these little here, just give a little bit more life to it. I wanted some thicker yellow here instead of just these. I wanted some like something like this, some like dead long grass. And I especially like how it looks from out here. Oh, that looks great. I'm very happy with that. Let me go free cam for a bit of a better view. So you can see where I've had the arch. It's originally gone from like this, but this part here is broken away, and you'd imagine there would also be an arch here that's corroded away a bit, leaving this sort of diagonal shape. And there's windows here that have dissolved, and you'd imagine there'd be like a solid wall there. I think this looks very cool. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. And I've tried to use blocks we wouldn't normally use. So if you come over here, I've used basalt. Now that's something I've never really used before in a build, I don't think. But I've used some of it here just to kind of connect this block with this deep slate variant, because I think it's a pretty good like middle block. It's slightly darker than this without being as dark as like black stone or something like that, which I keep forgetting that's a block. And I've also added some roots just sprinkled around the place to give it a bit more life. I like this room over here a lot, where I've got this tree here that's sort of growing on top of the wall a little bit, and it's sort of out the way a bit. And I think this is also a great show of time as well. You'd imagine originally this would be like all of I'm very much unable to see. All of this area here would all be flat, but because so much time has passed since this has gone to ruin, basically, it's all kind of eroded away and got more of that sort of shape now, where the room is being slowly filled up by rock and grass and dirt and other debris, which I think I've also done over here as well. Well, I've followed the natural terrain I built, but it looks pretty cool now that I've built the walls and stuff. It kind of gives that extra, yeah, this has been abandoned for a very long time feel. I am very happy with this view right here as you come through. And this is what I mean as well. See, the bushes, they're working even though it's not nighttime. But these ones here aren't working because they got direct sunlight. Whereas these ones over here are working. So it gives it that little extra magic, that little extra charm. Oh, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with this. And I've added the path that just comes through to here. Very, very happy. Now, whilst I was building this, I'm in a very, very ruinous time of my life right now, apparently. I had the idea, instead of just having it one ancient ruin and then this guy's come along and built his house here, what if we have one ancient ruin, one slightly less but still ruined build, and then that guy comes up there? So it's sort of like 3 stages of ruins, if you know what I mean. 3 different groups have inhabited this island from time to time, from one stage in history to another. So we've got this one probably hundreds of years ago, then some other person has come up and occupied this area, maybe like, I don't know, 100 years ago or something, because I built this originally as like an idea, maybe I could have this come up here and then a cave goes up there and that's how I get up, but I scrapped, oh, I can't go on third person while I'm gonna freak out. I scrapped that idea because I didn't like it, and I really wanted to have this bridge over here. So what I thought, we could have like some sort of other building, so someone else has come up, found this little area, they've built a path up here, and they've kind of set up camp here as like their little, maybe their little coastal fishing home or something, but they've also abandoned it at some point in history and it's just gone to ruin as well. I thought that could be pretty cool. So I'm going to get working on what? I can't English. So I'm going to get working on that and see what I can come up with. I'm thinking just like a small little cabin slotted in right here would look really cool. I'm going to use sand for this. So maybe something that's come along. Maybe something that's come along like right here would look pretty cool. Yeah, I think that shape there would look really cool for a little cabin there. It's kind of gone to ruin. Yeah, it's gonna look cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go gather up our resources to start work on this. Okay, I may have got a bit ahead of myself, but I've made a path, and this path leads all the way up to this little ruined house. This little ruined house right here. Now I have to be careful because I did get blown up by a creeper that has spawned inside this house. And there was a second creeper inside the house waiting for me when I came up, horrified. But I am really liking it. Aside from the creeper infestation, I'm really liking it. I'm really enjoying what I've done here with the collapsed part of the building, if you will. Just this little corner that is in some natural light. Now what I've done here is I've used the same technique you saw me use up there in the house to add these little support beams where the roof would be like on top of or whatever. This is like the structure inside the, I don't know what the name is. I am not a builder in real life. I don't know what the name is, just support beams. The beams I've added them to where it's all the stone and stuff is corroded away, and then you've just got these left over, which I think is really cool. I've also added more of these hanging roots all over the place. And then I was going to add some trapdoors along the sides here to be like window flaps, whatever they would be called. I don't remember what they're called. And one was maybe going to be lying on the ground. I didn't quite like it. I thought it gave it a bit too much life. I thought it made it look like it was recently abandoned instead of abandoned a very long time ago. And I've added a little bit of lore as well. We've got a little grave site over here, tucked in the corner. You're not going to see this really, but it's here to be like, maybe whoever's living here, they had a wife or something, or a husband or whatever, whichever one died, and they've just been buried here, and that was the last thing that happened here before whoever was here left. They either died, had no one to bury them, or they left for a new beginning because of whoever's died here. Who knows? That's up to you that's up to you to decide. It's just there's a little piece of lore that you can interpret however you want. And I've also added these buttons like little stones. You've seen this before. Everyone's seen that before. But I am very happy with how this little area's turned out. It looks so nice. And I've made this tree a little bit more custom. Well, I didn't really change it. I built it that way in the start, but it fits really well. That's a little bit more custom. And sort of is what I would imagine has caused this little area to decay. I've added this little mossy part here as like moss has come from the tree and onto the roof, which I think a cool little detail. And I'm happy with how these mushrooms in here turned out. This is unintentional, but I'm really happy with how they look inside the build. And I'm also imagining that the grass is sort of overtaking the stone floor that they've had in here. Now I could add some rubble just on the floor around here, but I kind of like it without any rubble. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it without much rubble because I'm liking how it looks now. And I've got some moss in the floor here just to like sort of bridge the gap between the mossy and the grass a little bit. It doesn't really matter because the moss on mossy stone bricks is pretty much the same as grass. I think it matches grass in this biome a lot more than it does the actual moss block. And then of course we got more firefly bushes. Just add that little bit more magic, that little bit more ambience. But I'm really happy. I haven't done this intentionally, but this is kind of the angle you want to look at my base from now. It's got all the stuff happening. Whereas the angle you're going to see my base from, which is out here, is very much just stone. Yeah, I've got that pillar, you've got that arch, which looks kind of cool, but the main thing is just stone. Whereas back here, you got all the interesting stuff. There was a bit of an oversight on my part. Look at this. With the occasional little firefly flying around. Got some bees up there. I did put a hive on one of the trees up there. Okay, I've been putting this off for a long time. Because I've been very procrastinating about how I'm going to build this bridge. But I think it's time we get on to the actual bridge from here to here and how we're going to get up to our base. So I was searching across Google Images for like inspiration for what I'm going to make this bridge out of because I had nothing. I found this, and I think I really like this, what they've done here, the very rotten style and falling apart. So I think I might go for something like this, like they've done here. I'm just going to I'm pretty much going to completely rip this off, but I think it's going to look cool. So props to them, full credit to Golden Boy MC. I'm going to completely rip off their bridge and steal it myself. This is actually, I didn't realize how cool the background was as well. They've done a really good job with this little river, these rapids, which I'm assuming this is. I am quite happy with this. I'm glad that person came up with whatever this design is. Now I had to change it a little bit. He also used to add chains and stuff mixed in with here, and I couldn't quite make that work in an angular build. I tried to put the occasional chain to make it look like it was more suspended by ropes, but I just couldn't make it look good, so I'm going without. We'll just have to use our imagination. potentially add some chickens hidden somewhere to give it that rope, but that's for future me if I ever want to pain myself with doing that. And let me tell you, I am so glad this is over, because it is very annoying, let's say, to place blocks like this. It's a lot of placing, a lot of breaking, a lot of deciding it does not look good at all, and redoing it all. This has been about like an hour and a half. It took me just to place a small bridge. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over. But now we can work on getting our little pathway circling around up. I think I'm going to do one rotation of the pillar. So one rotation coming around, and then, yeah, and then connecting up to the, I think exactly that would look really good. Or maybe slightly steeper, and I give some sort of way to get up. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So I've made a little bit of progress, and I'm pretty happy with how it's come out now. I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out how I wanted to have the pathway held up. So I've just come up with this little pillar support system here, and I've got a little staircase there because when I got up to about this point, I was like, I don't want it to go around again, because I obviously wanted the bridge to be on this part, but if it went around again, then it was going to come up to like here, and I didn't really want that. So I've had to add this little vertical section here. It just comes up like this, and from here on we're going to have the bridge coming across all the way to over there, and then maybe that elevator thing I talked about earlier that comes down from here, but I'm unsure. I have been sitting here procrastinating for a very long time, and it's not stopping. It's just procrastination with more procrastination and more procrastination and more procrastination and more procrastination with a little bit more procrastination sprinkled on top. Okay, and now that the side quest is out of the way, let's actually get on to finishing the bridge. Okay, maybe a little bit more procrastination. So after all that procrastination, progress has progressed, and I've made it this far. Now, I'm pretty happy with how it's come out so far, but the time it took me to progress this far, I finally got around to editing the video, and haven't even added the time lapses in. It's 42 minutes long, so I don't even think I'm going to add the time lapses in, because it's going to be like 50 minutes long. No one's going to watch it. I mean, no one's going to watch this far anyway. There's like, if there's one person here, comment fish. Comment fish. I want to see one fish in the comment section. That'd make my day. Overall though, even though we didn't get around to the bridge, I am pretty happy with how things have turned out and the amount of progress we've done today. Next episode, I think we're going to work on our way into the base from up here, and getting our bridge going from this island down here all the way to over there. I might actually connect it to that cave, we'll see. Or maybe in there. Maybe. But for now, that'll do us for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.